The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees. Hello, I'm Elise of Joyful Plant, and welcome to Gardening Through Art. Today we will add details to our Norwegian-style napkin holder in the Agder style. Agder-style Rosemaling is known for its strong, organized, and often symmetrical structure. The flowers are bold, clearly defined, and usually painted in contrasting colors against deep, rich backgrounds. Designs lean toward geometric and contained shapes, unlike the scroll-heavy styles of Telemark or Rogaland. Let's get started. If you are following along at home, you'll bring the piece you did in the initial painting. Use a round number 0 brush and a clear sealant. Specific colors and materials are available on joyfulplant.com or through the Western Rosemalers Association. The palette uses earthy versions of primary colors. Painters often build their blues and neutral from a mix of Prussian blue and burnt umber, then add yellow ochre for contrast and warmth. Brighter reds such as Venetian or English red appear frequently, and Agder painters tend to use a clean titanium white rather than the softer putty-toned whites seen in Telemark. Agder detail strokes are typically short and straight rather than curved. Precisely placed dots appear in borders and around flowers, providing rhythm and structural balance. Borders are crisp and even, often geometric, and may include diamonds, scallops, or short C-strokes in a contrasting color. While other Rosemaling styles blend more softly, Agder embraces the division of the petals, straight or gently curved, sometimes double-lined, often in umber to emphasize structure and clarity. Last time we began a napkin holder doing the initial strokes of an Agder-style Rosemaling. Now, the style that I will continue will have a little bit of a Telemark influence since that is what I have been practicing. Every painter can create a little bit of their own style as we learn from the older methods. I'm going to use a small round brush and dip it in just a little bit of walnut oil. And we'll look at the design with a fresh set of eyes. With the walnut oil on the brush, I'll bring it through the white paint with just a small amount of yellow ochre. We want to make sure that it's a smooth consistency, almost like melted butter. The detail strokes are a little bit more fluid and they'll have less paint on the brush than what we did with the initial strokes. Sometimes the first strokes people use with a filbert brush or with a flat, and some painters just use round. It's always nice to test the color on the brush and see how that goes. And brace our hand in a way that points the tip of the brush toward the root or the center of the design, and really gently set down and bring down some teardrops. The Agder-style Rosemaling really uses a lot of teardrops and small dots while still centering the design with the tips of the teardrops or the S or the C strokes. Really gently would let the brush do the work. If you really don't care for the edge, sometimes if it's not enough paint on the brush or it can look a little bit shaggy at the bottom. So it may not be traditional, but I think it's okay to go back and fix your teardrops. So we'll add a few more detail strokes here. Really light pressure. It's easy to get stuck in one style of design, and learning the ways that they did this in different isolated valleys in Norway, for example, can really enhance our understanding of the art and of other arts. So my Rosemaling can enhance my skills with block printing and watercolor. We'll bring an S stroke up here, press down in the center and bring it up again. Create kind of a small detail design. Looks a little bit like a wing or a leaf. And we want to make sure we have nice points and then it comes down toward a center. This uses math, such as the Fibonacci sequence, generally a 2/3 estimate on our circular rotations. And again, if you didn't like your stroke, you can try it again. Painters can submit their pieces to the Washington State Fair every summer, and also to the Vesterheim, which is translated to Western Home Museum in Decorah, Iowa. There are a lot of classes for Rosemaling, either through the Western Rosemalers Association, based around the Puget Sound, or in person or online through Vesterheim. And try not to judge yourself. As you're learning, we are all going through our journeys. There's no such thing as perfect. So practice makes progress. Although if you do submit to the Vesterheim competition, they will give you feedback, which can be hard to handle. But it's also really helpful to be humble and to learn from people who have worked on these designs for a long time. So a lot of the detail strokes are borrowed from the telemark design here. This will be kind of a hybrid design as I'm learning this style of Agder. And there will be some pieces that have a different composition and might lend themselves more to a border, or in this particular piece, I felt like a border would be too busy. But it's okay to play with it. And the only way to improve is to do the practice over and over. Try to enjoy it. As we grow with nature, as we tune our imagination to nature, it helps us become better stewards of our place. And we see how just as a plant unfolds, turning over a new leaf, we can take guidance on that. As things change through life, we only have so much control, but we do have stewardship potential that often goes untapped. And our agency can grow as we become stewards of our own lives through creative experiences. Through the arts, they can show us our influence and how powerful it is. You might start with a pattern, or you might have an inspiration. Right now I'm working off this box that was made by Bill Keller, and he's based in Port Orchard. And the folk arts can bring us more joy, whether or not it was our ancestors that created this art form. All of these folk arts were influenced by various cultures. as people started moving about the globe, a lot more bringing their trunks of personal items to various ports, they would learn from one another and adopt styles that they liked. So it has various influences from Asian cultures and different types of art. And this was done by common people, usually traveling painters. It started with the acanthus vine, also known as the bear's breeches, and they would carve the acanthus vine into buildings to help them feel good, stay motivated during the winter. And then they realized they could use paint to have an easier approach to still a beautiful design. So the painters would create their own brushes and make their own pigments, their own hues. So changing the color just a little bit, we can adhere to the traditional designs, we can vary them, same with the colors. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. In this case, we've decided to add a little bit of whimsy. And notice where there are pieces that are either lacking in outline, or maybe they would really do well with a little bit more color. One piece with these dots this white can line some of these petals. They're split petals, and the white dots can really influence how that looks. This can be done with a brush or with a stylus or with the back of a brush. It just brings a little bit more interest. The dots can be the same size or they can vary. And it can be really satisfying and fun. Just a little bit of detail can go a long way. Everybody has a different preference for if they're minimalist or maximalist, they'll call themselves sometimes, for just how much paint can be put in a small amount of space. Always try to step back and look at it a little bit, see what it needs. You can integrate some fun ideas. Sometimes it's nice to break these up with a little bit of scroll decoration. The red that I used was probably a little darker than most of them in the Agder style. And you can add little teardrops inside. There are various trends that happen through the ages. There's a really bright red, almost an orange, that occurs a lot in Norway. It's not as common here. Also, a lot of Rosemaling that happened here in the 70s has that avocado and orange and brown look that we saw all over appliances and decor in the 70s. So you can really tell who did a piece based on their style as well. So you can look at it, see what it needs, maybe add a tiny bit more. And be sure to take deep breaths while you pull strokes. It's almost like a yoga experience. And the stroke work can be very calming. And Don't be afraid to experiment. Some teachers might consider some colors illegal or forbidden, but it's fun to learn the rules in order to break them, and the rules are just for guidance. So we know what looks nice and go from there. It's nice to take some classes from home because then you can use your own space and you can also travel with your art supplies, learn more styles, learn tricks and shortcuts. As far as this detailing goes, I think we'll call this good. Today we enjoyed detailing the Agder Rosemaling on a napkin holder. Thank you for joining us. You are invited to share your work on social media with the hashtag Gardening Through Art and find more tutorials on joyfulplant.com. See you next time.